Last generation of LCK, his everyday is legendary. Great jungler score.
Great jungler. That's a very succinct way to put it. He's pretty good.
One of our legends here in Korea. So one up close yesterday with Mad Life at the OGN Arena, and then Score here as well. Both of them players that played in that first invitational tournament 6.5 years ago. Looking at the bans, the Nocturne ban is last. That means that the Swain will be available. Could be picked by Deft. He's played it once this season, but also a massive pick for Yukal in the mid lane. And thank you for the overlay confirmation that Aurelion Sol is globally banned for 8-12.
Yeah, I mean, we said that something had to sneak by. I think these bans were pretty on point. The Zoe, the Aatrox, specifically Nocturne, also not seeing any play. Gragas being hovered here and will be picked up for MVP.
I wonder what the first pick priority is for this champion. Now, it does well against Swain because just bounce him away, disengage him from a team fight. I wonder if they're going to take Gragas Sejuani together. Sejuani's banned. I should tell a lie there. I normally think of Gragas in this meta as kind of an answer to Sejuani because she ults and you ult her away. But the Gragas is power picked most likely as support for Max in the first round. And then Yondu following up with the likely jungle Camille.
KT fighting. Chinese fans coming down here to the studio. Always nice to see. And there we go. Trundle, Tom Kench, a couple of the higher priority picks here in Korea.
Seen this duo lane from KT already, I believe. The Swain, Tom Kench definitely been a couple of times in the LCK. So far, so good on the KT side. They were able to take down the Young Bucks, Griffin, in the last series, largely because of the bot lane play around Mordekaiser. Seems like it might be the bot lane play around Swain, but they don't have to be married to that idea.
Mundo coming in here is going to be locked in. Just picked for straight up power. Almost definitely going to be in the top side. And they're just blind picking that very early before the second ban phase. It's a very common ban in the second phase that we do see here. So nice little pick up there by MVP.
My question to MVP is, how does ADD feel about a matchup I've played many times, Rumble versus Mundo? Because that's actually a matchup that Mundo hates early but wins pretty easily. But then you have Smeb, early game, get a couple of ganks, get a Merlinomicon, end the game. A lot of options can happen there. So I wonder if you would consider banning Rumble against Smeb. On 8-12, the Rumble is stronger than before. I think you just go with it and just try to get through the pain points of the early game, but teams can always be a little bit hot and cold about things like that. Waiting for the secondary ban. Seems like they're not convinced that Deft will be playing the Swain.
It's cool to see the Ashe priority go up and up here recently in Korea too. See a lot of bans in the second phase, and alongside Varus too, just to get rid of that, you know, pretty decent auto-attacking, kind of engaging AD carry down on the bottom side rather.
They really did not want to deal with a Galio coming through with already the Hextech ultimatum and the Vel'Koz ban as well, saying, hey, we're playing mid lane Swain. Because Vel'Koz is the answer by many people, including Ian, into this Swain pick. That will mean bot lane carry is the big thing here for MVP to pick up.
Yeah. They steal the Ezreal Tom Kench away. They already banned away a couple of AD carries that can do well and push against the Ezreal.
Would
and
this be,
they pick it up.
This seems unlikely because Score's already got Trundle and his Lee Sin is not his calling card, let's say. It's a pick
Deft
that he
is
struggled on.
a known pick ban troller.
Would they pick Trundle top lane? I guess you could.
I doubt it.
It seems unlikely. Kaisa is almost unsighted in most games and will actually be locked in. So Kaisa Tom Kench, very interesting. Haven't seen a Kaisa in multiple patches. I think Afrika Freaks aiming might have been the last one to play bot lane Kaisa. Was taken down by an Ezreal lane. So that's a different take, but LPL-esque there in that pick. It seems like it's going to be Swain mid and might just end up being tank versus tank. Comfortable lane for the Mundo after the first few levels. No Rumble, just the on.
Looking for a pick for the mid lane. Would be interesting to see what they decide to play into what looks like the Swain. I mean, there's the very small chance you put the Gragas there, but
Anivia could definitely be considered at this pick. Would work well. And some of what KT is doing, not so much the Kaisa. The all-in choice of the Yasuo would be bold, but it's time to be bold for MVP.
It's very MVP. So I do like that they pick it up, you know, sticking with their image, I suppose. But we go ahead and look at Ian's picks so far, he actually has not played any Yasuo so far, and neither has Pilot. So, going to be a first here for Ian. He's been known in the past to be a very good, carry kind of assassin champion player in the mid lane. So, I'm sure he should be comfortable on the pick.
And it gives us some windows into why the Gragas priority was so high, as Gragas is one of the most reliable initiators of the last breath. He's actually the only other facilitator on their side when it comes to that ultimate. But Ian on the Yasuo is a different look for him. Not the easiest matchup against the Swain, who once he gets the stopwatch online, he's gone Summoner Spell Exhaust, could potentially get rolling. Interesting drafts here. Pretty standard, all things considered. The only surprise, going Kai'Sa straight up in a 2v2 lane, something no other duo lane has been willing to do on patch 8.11 or 8.12 in recent memory.
Yeah, and actually this will be Def's first game on the Kai'Sa too. So we are going to see him pick up something new alongside Ian's first time on the Yasuo. Should be a pretty fun one to see if they can actually bring in these new picks, and there's stuff that you might not expect amongst other picks that were available. So definitely a bit of a fun draft we had there.
Definitely standard lanes being a surprise, but the picks and who they're for is where the KT versus MVP side, where it's champion pools evolving, new stuff being shown, but all within the framework of standard lanes.
So guys, it looks like we're just about ready to jump into game number 1 here. KT versus MVP. The countdown has started. Let's jump onto the Rift right now. You guys can hear it. MVP still has their fan base behind them. They're sitting in 8th place currently, but SKT right around the corner. If MVP were to win tonight, I think they would go up and tie with SKT, if I'm not mistaken.
Tough ask against KT, but we all know that KT, which side of the bed they wake up on, can be so relevant. We'd be walking topside. Actually, already a lane ward put down by KT Rolster, so clearly shenanigans was something they were expecting. The Gragas level 1 is something we've seen, where Gragas just looks for a lane gank at level 1.
And that's definitely what's happening. I believe that Smeb did see this. It's okay to trade with ADD here, but you know that it's just ADD trying to bait him in. So.
That's actually really good scouting. There must be a scrim trend of Gragas level 1 ganking as support, because they completely knew about this with the lane ward.
You don't just randomly do this, right? You don't just put a ward up there. That's not standard, right?
That's the first second brush lane ward I've seen all season.
Yeah. And, you got Ezreal down on the bottom side, too, who can do a little bit of poking with his Q. He won't get too far behind. And also TP on Max. We talked about teleport meta. He has not taken Unsealed Spellbook or anything like that. He just has a straight-up TP in the bottom side.
Second time we've seen that this week. So yeah, it seems like an evolving trend. And I guess another thing for Smeb to say, hey, he could definitely do this and get away with some shenanigans. Right now, we're just seeing the Scuttles traded. Because it's SPO TV, we will see it 1-1 very soon at the top of the screen. But let's see how the Kai'Sa does, because Kai'Sa in lane. Kai'Sa slow to get going after all the nerfs since the last time we had a bot lane Kai'Sa meta, which was, of course, playoffs here, 8.6 in Korea. So far, when we see Kai'Sa, it's the funnel where you have the experience, the gold, everything just granted to you in the place of someone else having relevant items. A lot more balanced is the feeling about Kai'Sa when it takes a lot longer for her to reach that critical mass.
Yeah. Speaking of another member on the side of KT, Yukal just taking summoners and runes to directly counter Yasuo in the mid lane. Taking the Aerie instead of the phase rush. You want to do a little bit of extra poke against the Yasuo. Also went for exhaust, so he's not going to have anything like a teleport. Even in this teleport meta that we do have, takes that exhaust to help deal with Ian when he goes in with the last breath. I'm sure every Yasuo player knows that if you get exhausted at the right time, which, by the way, it's not only Yukal, it's also Mata who has exhaust. If you get exhausted at the right time, you are not going to have a good time.
Seems almost like the rock, paper, scissors of support summoners might actually be won by KT. Because, yes, it's double teleport, and there's some playmaking scenarios, and if MVP can pull off a cute lane swap when the teleport's back up, maybe that can work. But being able to get away with no Ignite is something a lot of people want, but just opt into Ignite, because if the enemy has Ignite and you don't, you can lose out on those 2v2s pretty significantly. Getting double exhaust on your team without having to deal with a Knight bot lane is actually kind of a complete win for KT. Reaching team fights, if we see Deft reach critical mass also, that will be massive, but very reliable shutdown on the Yasuo, that's for sure.
It will definitely be containing him alongside Camille if they have the extra exhaust for the time. Of course, you could just use 2 on the Yasuo if you really want to just make him totally useless in the one fight. Looking for a play in the mid lane here, a score, or actually just waiting for it to push so he could sneak into the brush and head over to that red.
So we have this fun matchup. We have Trundle Swain as a duo, where the Trundle pillar into the Swain passive makes you a deceptively strong ganker as the Trundle in the mid lane. The vision was toggled there. We thought Trundle was coming in. He was not, as Yondu picks up the red buff, but he's going to be spotted on a ward. Getting Swain pre-8 minutes, pre the stopwatch, always very important.
They actually had an opportunity because of that really unique pathing that he could have come in behind Yasuo and tried to make the plan work like you were talking about. Let's talk about this. TP already coming in. It looks like that's from Deft too. Gonna come out to Yondu here. First blood, easy peasy. Just too much map pressure with the TP. They have to give away that first blood.
I think Deft really should have canceled the teleport there if they're not gonna give him the kill. He has 3.5 seconds, 4 seconds almost during the channel to say, leave me the kill or I'm gonna cancel teleport. It's not some sort of champion select hostage situation. It's just give your Kaiser a kill.
Yeah.
Instead, Deft leaves lane, and he's going to miss out on a bit of CS. Deft and teleport has never worked out. We remember the Jace game. But the teleport here is actually really well done. You just need to cancel it. You had a lot of time to do that.
Yeah, they don't even give the kill over. It's just like, well, here I am. Thankfully, he didn't lose too much CS, but he definitely lost some XP down on the bottom side, so kind of annoying. Not the end of the world. They make it happen, and that's nice. A good kill for you, Cal, early on in this game.
Could Mata have devoured him out of the teleport and be like, no, no teleport?
I think that works. I'm pretty sure that would work.
Excellent. That's what should have happened. Come on,
It's
Mata.
actually Mata's fault.
Mata's famous for microing 4 people around him.
I know.
What happened?
He was slow, man. He missed it. Maybe the Devour was on cooldown, and Def was like, now's my chance. I can TP away.
Too funny.
The extra gold got the Swain a cloth armor, which makes the Yasuo even more useless in the lane.
It's not ideal for the Yasuo. The Yasuo is a very optimistic choice in the mid lane, I would say. But I'm excited to see Ian play that Yasuo for the first time this season. A bit away from the normal champions we see him on. However, you could say we were surprised by how good his Aurelia was earlier this season. So trying to make those melee carries work.
Ian definitely strikes me as a guy. I mean, you guys heard him in the interviews that he did where he's like, I didn't sign up for mid lane to play Taric and Braum. You know, he's a guy that wants to play the carries. He wants the sparkly solo moment where he solo kills like 2 or 3 people. He wants to be that guy. And Yasuo, Aurelia definitely picks to allow him to do that. So I'm sure he's very much in his comfort zone, that he's played a lot of Yasuo just for fun, just for practice.
As you describe him, he sounds like the guy who says, I'm a Smurf in every champion select.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I have mid? I'm a Smurf.
By the way, do you guys know who I am? This is Ian Smurf. Do you recognize my name? Everybody's like, I don't know who you are.
Faker?
they're
Ian?
like, who's Ian? Oh, poor Ian.
He's a top 10 mid laner in the LCK.
Yeah, he is. That's something.
Wait,
you know?
wait, maybe 15.
We do have a lot of mid laners, you know. There's Pawn and you, Cal, even though Pawn is taking the season off. Wears Crown also. Haven't seen too much of him. Justice from Jin Air. He also is taking a backseat.
Oh, Aurelian Soul's out, so no.
How about Pyrian? He played a game.
That's true. He was all right.
Yeah. We do have a bunch of mid laners that have subbed in or have not played.
Comfortably top 15 mid laner in the LCK.
That's a very comfortable seat he's got on that list, Papa.
What can I say?
Glad you mentioned that.
I call him like I see him.
Yeah. I just remember we were having a discussion about Ian. And I think he has improved. You know, he's gotten better. He's better than 2017, where we had him down towards the bottom.
He really did.
Full disclosure, we put him all the way at the bottom. And yeah, I mean, he deserved to be there. But now you know, there are definitely some other people who have taken that spot away from him.
Are you going to call people out now? Is that your long-winded way of flaming someone?
I'm just saying that other people have taken that seat away from him. Not that he has made the move, you know. No, I think he's good. He's good.
Look, I don't mind. You know, I don't want to just randomly start flaming people, but
no, of course not.
Given that you invited the topic, I would say our weakest performing mid laner has been Grace from Jinair. He's been the one who's probably had too many shaky moments and no carry performances, but I mean, Tempt has to be down there as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've bigged up Tempt many times, but he's been on Struggle Street with the rest of BBQ.
It's just hard, you know, when you're a team that hasn't won a single game, as both Jinair and BBQ have. Again, the two of them just...
I just keep looking at the Hanwha Life lineup and wishing Kusan was on Jinair.
Yeah. Why did he have to make the switch?
It seemed like a good idea at the time. And then Lava emerged to actually be really good.
Yeah. He was #1 in MVP points. I think he still is. Up at 500 or even 600. Not 100% sure about that number, but Lava's good. He's super consistent. And whenever they win, he's always the best performing player, which is very interesting.
Should we deep dive into teams that aren't KT and MVP more? Because this game is not obliged in terms of action. I just want to see a Trundle pillar in the mid lane. That's always exciting when Swain is there.
Who do you think was the best performing mid laner so far? Because I feel like that topic is a little bit harder. You know, we can always pick on the lower guys because it's a little bit obvious. When your team doesn't win, obviously you're not going to be playing too well. But in the mid lane, I feel like it's been very competitive amongst the top laners, or top mid laners.
Over the course of the entire 8 best-of-3s most of people have played?
Yeah.
So we're talking like kind of average level. Who'd have the highest star ranking if it was done out of 10 every game? Maybe, that's a hard one actually.
Maybe BDD.
I probably wouldn't have BDD #1.
Or Chovy.
He'd be up there.
He did get kind of...
It's a hard one. I think Kuro would be up there too.
Yeah. It's pretty competitive, as I said, but speaking of
competition,
we do have a fight happening, 5-on-5 right here. The TP's coming in, and the smite goes down actually to potentially MVP. Not sure about that one. They get the stopwatch on ADD. Yukal also gonna burn it here. This fight going on forever. Ian out of the fight now. He's super low. Yukal as well, and just nobody dies as everybody disengages. It looks like Max alone on the left side is going to be caught out here. The second kill of the game. A wonky one that was, and it did go over to the side of KT.
Nice prediction there from Mata. They didn't have vision, but they knew an educated guess of what the pathing would be for Max. No teleport exit available for him. Only a single kill, you're right. It was very extended. Look like the fight would just happen on the top side and MVP would be awkwardly trying to join it. But Flash E comes in from the Gragas, the ult as well. But we're so early in the game with Zeal on the Yasuo and no items that there's no burst on either teams, which is why it goes comically long.
I mean, you look at the team of KT too. It's Swain, Ornn, Trundle, and Tompkins to devour anyone. It's really hard to kill any of these people. Yukal's the one that gets the closest, but he has stopwatch. And after that, and all the damage that comes out from that Swain ultimate, they just have to back away.
It's good Tahm Kench play. Very, very smart. Max doesn't have another summoner, only has the teleport. Won't be able to TP out. So I guess the best moment is Mata's ultimate, which lets you know that it was much ado about Mata.
Yeah. Maybe we were also talking about top supports on our way here. Mata definitely one of the guys that's up there. Not the one guy who is #1. Definitely a top performer here in LCK. Let's take a look at the damage. Swain in the middle of 5 people with a stopwatch will do a lot of damage, and so Yukal will pick that up.
We spent a lot of time not having to respect damage too much, so just we'll tick up, as we all know, kind of like tormented soil damage from these carry Morganas that we're seeing more and more of. MVP still do exit the first 13 minutes with an objective. They pick up Ocean Drake, able to get that one going. To finally answer your question, I'd say it's a toss between Kuro and Chovy for me.
Yeah.
For #1. Chovy's only really had 2 bad games out of his list. But we've had kind of mid laners playing supports and all sort of
Yeah.
shenanigans, so it's a difficult one.
I think BDD has also been quite consistent. Just a shout out to him.
MVP of the week would definitely be Faker. He's had an excellent week 3.
Yeah. He's finally coming back to form. You can feel it, which is great.
And I guess because we have kind of a wrap-up episode podcast going on now because we go into a break, I'd say best overall player, easily Ruler at number 1.
Yeah. I mean, even though they got kind of squashed like a bug, 0-2 against Afrika, Ruler was still nearly carrying the game by himself from 10,000 gold behind. And his consistency across the board on so many different 80 carries, definitely a huge shout out to him. Love that he's getting the recognition that he deserves now. And speaking of which, Shelly waiting for her time to shine. TPs are going to come in. Looks like this is
Double.
Max and ADD. Max first, it will get the charge, but they will be able to save the turret thanks to double TP.
I guess Max doesn't really need to be bot lane. The second TP from ADD probably didn't need to come in because the charge is always going to come in. If you're going to deny the charge, maybe it's worth it. Bit curious. I haven't been impressed with TPs so far in this game.
Pilot is throwing Mystic shots into a bush that they have a control ward in. Definitely playing the mind games here. Something you'll really only see at the highest level.
Deft is sitting on the amp tome, the least fun part to sit on. And the reason we don't see the Kai'Sa too much is usually Deft and Mata pick exclusively for lane. Think Mordekaiser and friends.
Yeah.
This time going for the Kai'Sa, taking the less impressive side of the matchup. But we all know that in the late game, short of a Hextech ultimatum, nothing's going to keep Deft down.
Deft has been pretty good. I feel like he hasn't been throwing as much here in summer. He definitely has a bit of a reputation. It's hard not to mention it. So, yeah, but as a compliment, I think he's been improving a lot. Well, not improving, just playing better overall. So it's pretty good for KT.
You give the sort of analysis that I try to find a nice way to package. You just package it very straightforward. You're like, yeah, I mean, he's just throwing less. I'm like, his decision-making has really been quite good. You're like, yeah, guy's throwing less. I mean, your economy of syllables is good.
I like to bond with the viewers, I speak in a language that they can easily understand.
But at some point, if you're just going to do that, shouldn't we just have Twitch chat cast with me?
No. No, I don't think anyone wants to see that. But, okay, here we go. That's Deft and Mata in your face. Scores here, too. Nice cast to push them away, but they will force the flash out of Max anyway. You see Yukal was also making his way down on the bottom side. Mata loves to be a playmaker, even when he's not on the head-on engaged champs. Even on the Tom Kents, he can make it happen.
Map rotation here, because of the Kai'Sa, is not actually going to be too powerful, so they're not actually going to get the turret, which seems to be what they were setting up for. KT around the mid lane. They're all rotating, so at least some people will be happy about that. But turret threat, Siege is not fantastic. They want to fight.
Oh boy, Yondu messes up the hook shot there, forced to flash. At least Mata did burn his exhaust. So they do get something in the trade, but so far the map control heavily in the side of KT. You'll notice these forward control wards, the rotation cleans up control wards by MVP towards the mid lane turret, and they have deep vision over there as well. KT definitely in a good spot towards the bottom side of the map.
I guess the big difference from the early game, which has been kind of rudimentary, is that Score has controlled the map and Yondu has farmed. It's kind of been the takeaway.
Yeah.
And that has meant that there is a little CS lead for the Camille, but when it comes to how the lanes can play, and honestly, all Trundle says is, I need my Kai'Sa to farm and not die. Swain is going to be fine against Yasuo, and Orin is going to be fine against Mundo. If Trundle's only job is, I'll miss out on some camps and Kai'Sa will stay equal in CS, I think he's completely nailing it. So Deft has been able to uninteractively get onto one item, soon to be two, probably going to be AP Kai'Sa, you'd imagine. As the build path and Score, well, don't need a lot of mechanics to play like this.
He just wants to get in there, and Yukal gets the pushing advantage, and even a TP coming in here from Smet. They are going deep underneath this bottom side turret. The Ornn ultimate comes in. It is going to miss the knockup onto Max. He is still going to die. Yondu on the backside goes for the Hextech ultimatum, but that just secures his death here. Easy couple of kills for KT. as they are dominating this early game.
And that's them playing around cooldowns. Teleport down on Max. He was in the bot lane. ADD doesn't have teleport. He can't join. There's no summoner on Max for combat. Combat summoners in this game are one Ignite and I guess a red smite. They've got nothing else in terms of combat summoners. When you got double combat summoners from KT, you walk up to a 5v5 and you have a massive lead in effective tools, especially early before you can buy items that let you overcome things like double exhaust.
Just like you said, this is very straightforward, and MVP not respecting it, staying under the turret. They get punished for it. Yondu, he goes back in after the hook shot, and that's a big mistake. Could have hook shot it away and maybe survived with his life, but ended up just giving it away.
Worshipping at the Church of Crazy, that guy.
Yeah, you know, there's been a lot of crazy plays.
You know how there was the famous arcane shift in the Wung direction because Wung was known to suicide with a forward arcane shift when he wanted to go to safety? We should have crazy hook shot.
Because it makes sense, too.
It does.
This is crazy. Look at Mata. He's just running in there. He's like, hello, Ian. Ian's going to last breath score, and he doesn't care at all. Nice cast is going to knock Deft away, but Ian has no escape here. Easiest kill as Mata is just being alpha mode in the enemy jungle, just saying, hey, what's up, Yasuo? You can't kill me.
Mata's been unlocked. Continues to push forward. Don't have the missing health damage to kill ADD yet. It will be AP build on the Kai'Sa. There's so many different CCs on his team that will stack the plasmids. And the thing about the AP build is you do insane missing health damage. If you just get 3 missing health autos off, we're talking like 60% of missing current HP in the late game because of the AP scaling. It's going to be really big, and I really agree with the item choice of going the AP Kai'Sa. It is the standard, but it fits a game like this really well.
Yeah. And you can see what happens when you have a Tom Kent's that's ahead too. Just running forward, you can't kill him. You have total vision control, enemy red side jungle. They try to get some value somewhere else on the map, and he just abyssal voyages to the mid lane so that the Yasuo can't take it down. Currently only 1 turret down on the side of KT, and that's because of the amount of just map plays that they're allowed to make here with this Tom Kent. It's a beauty to watch.
I know, but you say that, right? And that's a succinct point. The map plays, the Tom Kent just separating the game. However, MVP drafted and chose 3 teleports, and they also have a pretty mobile team in terms of speed, at least, and gap close. They're just getting out-rotated. It's just on a simple level. They've not been able to use their summoners very well. We've already criticized a couple of teleports this game, and KT have taken combat summoners and out-rotated them. So what happens then? You probably just lose, Valdez.
Definitely feels that way. Turns out KT is the better team. I don't want to get excited yet because we've seen this many times before. I don't want anybody in the chat to be saying, okay, easy clap, 2-0 victory, KT is the god, they're going to win Worlds.
You said that very clearly, by the way.
None of that.
I think they're definitely going to say that.
Just don't do it, guys.
Oh,
nice
the
prediction by Smeb. Pilot forced to flash away. The TP is going to come in here. And once again, KT just styling. You know, like they don't even have the minion wave in. So KT, they can crush face in game 1, and granted, they will do that. They're gonna make MVP look silly. I just want to make sure that nobody gets excited and that we go into game 2 and they do the same thing.
You keep saying it though, Valdez. I'm suspicious about your true intentions. Impressed by Smeb's ultimate though. I love the predicts on the Ornn. Hard to show too much skill expression on the Ornn. ADD with his searing charges a few patches ago was a cool one. He's going to back away now. They have no interest in fighting against double buff Pilot, who has 2 items and double buffs, so is probably the strongest champion on the Rift. ADD doing his Mundo thing.
You got to do what you got to do. And, well, they didn't have a minion wave. They had an opportunity with the rest of KT backing off. It's a nice little play there with how tanky your Mundo can be at this moment. Just hop in and actually get the second turret of the game for them.
I'm just waiting for that cathartic moment, because we've seen Mundo run at 80 carries and Zoes and just never die, take 400 turret shots. Wait till the AP Kai'Sa gets a couple of items, because finally we're going to see a Mundo pop. Also want to say shout out to Uzi in the LPL in that RNG versus IG series. He finally fulfilled my prophecy and played top lane Vayne against a Mundo.
Finally!
I've been waiting for top lane 80 carry. I said Vayne, and it finally happened. It took a very long time. It's not in my league, but shout out to Uzi. Turns out his Vayne's all right.
You think so?
Yeah,
You think he's okay at that champion?
Top 10 Vayne in the LPL.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good. He's all right.
But that's a natural compliment, by the way. There's more than 10 teams in the LPL.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, KT sitting pretty in this one. Not much to say about it. I mean, they've just been outplaying MVP, out-rotating them on the map, making them look silly. And I'm just waiting for that one team fight. You know, you already have a 2-0 and 2 Swain. Wing cooldown boots, by the way. You don't see that all the time. Maybe mixing it up wants to get his ultimate a little bit more. Not 100% sure.
You are a experienced Swain player, so I'm sure you are more qualified than most to speak about it. It is kind of strange to go CDR flat magic pen, but it is a choice you can make. And if the catch starts, honestly, maybe just hitting a never move to set up for Kai'Sa damage is more important.
Yeah. Maybe the case here. KT is pushing in. They definitely have a nice amount of siege with the Swain and the Ornn. Oh, they're trying to go on the back line here and actually get onto Uyukao, but look at Yandu. He just disappears, nearly soloed down by Score. The jungle battle here certainly being won by Score in just the... It wasn't even really a team fight. It was just the two of them going head-to-head. A little bit of extra damage sent in there by Uyukao.
MVP also used Ultimatum onto the Swain, then also used Gragas Ultimate, I guess, to set up a last breath just on the Swain. Very curious.
Well, ADD is really tanky, so they're going to come in here and just try to bop heads together, trying to come in, and he does not get the steal as Yandu is dead, but the rest of KT just way too strong at this point, and finally ADD is gonna die. We have seen Amundo finally go down here in the LCK. They want that ace onto Pilot. Doesn't look like they'll get it though as Pilot pushes them away.
Just a firing squad for KT Rolster. They're not gonna die to the Baron. No threat onto the Kai'Sa now. 3-0 and 3 for just 2v2 Kai'Sa. No funnel necessary. We're going to watch the replay. This play on the top side is really, really bad from MVP. They ult on with the ultimatum, and then I guess they try to set up a one-man last breath. Otherwise, why are you using Gragas ultimate? He still has ult and the ability to turn that around. Very curious play on the top side, and all they do is lose cooldowns. If they try and make that Baron interruption and then the Gragas ultimate knocks the enemy's smite away, maybe you get a smite steal.
It's very MVP. You know, they thought they had a chance to catch the Swain and burst him down before.
He has so much.
I know, he has so much stuff to stay alive. But it was a nice play by Uyukao too, I should mention. The Hextech ultimatum was targeted onto him and he immediately flashed, so Yandu is in a terrible spot. It wasn't a good fight in the beginning, but it was a good mechanical play by Uyukao. So,
oh well.
A little bit of a shout out to him.
And there's also desperation to talk about. They know they're behind as MVP, so they're trying to make something happen. We'll see what the damage total was in the last fight. Ezreal able to poke around for a lot. It's not huge numbers by any means on the side of KT, and I assume they would have had to do more damage than that to kill Amundo and friends, so I'm going to call maybe not on the damage dealt there.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. You just call out Spo TV on their broadcast. I'm like, no, those are wrong. Maybe that was the damage from the first fight before the Baron.
Maybe.
That's definitely a possibility. The numbers would make a lot more sense in that case. Pilot doing the most damage in the game by far, though. It is highlighted by those numbers, too. And it's just an unfortunate case. We saw it from Ruler when he was playing the Ezreal in Game 1 against Afrika, where they got super far behind, but he was doing so much on the pick, but still couldn't carry his team.
People like Smeb and Uyukao, even Score, can walk up and not really care too much about what is, like you say, very relevant damage. It's 3 items. He's very powerful in terms of where he's at. Def can assassinate him, but won't be taking any aggressive R's in this particular scenario. Going to keep away from his usual razor-sharp killer instinct. Plasmids are there. The AP and the attack speed has already been achieved. So that's the W and E there for the Kai'Sa. No Q upgrade necessary after the nerfs.
You can see the damage that the W poke from Death is doing to Max. All of his missing health is just W's. This time ADD is going to catch him. They're going to do a nice little rotation here, pushed in by Yukao, and 4 members all of a sudden with a minion wave. The cast comes in, it's dodged by everybody but one, and now Max nearly goes down. Here comes the Kaiser, though. It's going to be able to 2-shot with the help of Yukao. That'll be an easy pick onto the support Gragas. They get their first inhibitor of the game.
Bit of a stroll through game 1 for KT Rolster, looking to try to close the game. Will it be on this push, or will they be repelled? MVP walking up.
Yeah, Pilot, you know, he does do significant damage there to Yukao, trying to push them away. Ian's still looking for his moment. ADD getting low. They're going to knock him onto him. Can't quite kill him just yet. They're going deep. They're going to be able to take out Ian. And, well, Def just has way too much room in these team fights. No way to get through the tank line. And poor Pilot, he does so much damage, but he can't carry his team. And that should do it. KT just strolled through the park, as you mentioned. They're going to be able to push in, take out the Nexus turrets and the rest of MVP, and take down game number 1 here. Max doing his best, and they really want more kills. Not gonna matter. Nicely done. 1-0, KT.
Train as you like from KT Rolster. For some people it makes perfect sense, to other people it makes no sense, but they are able to win game number 1. Solid draft. They made the Kai'Sa bot lane work because Score spent a lot of time just making sure that the enemy jungler could never make a big engage. For a ganking jungler like Camille, Yondu did very little in this game, dictated to by the experienced Score. They closed the game very early as well, pre-30 minutes. Straightforward stuff for KT Rolster.
Really like their team composition too. They had a really nice amount of sustained damage and a really thick front line. You know, I say that seriously, like the Swain is actually really hard to kill, especially if he can get going. Then the Tom Kent, with all of his gray health and the ability to devour people. Trundle from ahead gets a bit tanky. And then, of course, the Ornn, one of the tankiest guys we do have.
A lot of big boys in the front line, that's for sure.
It was really good. So, MVP, we've seen this picture before, them with furrowed brows, trying to figure out what went wrong. Whereas KT, very confident.